It's a Money Monday on Liquid Lunch, and we are here to mix you up. You're probably mixed up because most shows on television don't have real people, both Democrats and Republicans, on to talk about the news of the day. We do it every single day. Joining me again, Bill Cortese on the right, Josh Kravitz on the left, two of my most favorite and esteemed Mix It Up contributors. And guys, it seems like Bernie Sanders, and we're going to talk about all the killer bees here, Booker, Bernie, Bennett, Bloomberg, there's all bees on the Democrat side. But first and foremost, Bernie Sanders is against war in almost every place you hear him speak about it, except it appears on Twitter, because Donald Trump put out this tweet, which many of us may have seen, but take a look. Crazy Bernie Sanders surging in the polls, looking very good against his opponents in the Do-Nothing Party. What does this all mean? Stay tuned. And Bernie, typically against war, goes right to the Twitter war with this. Tweets back at the president, it means you're gonna lose. The billionaires and millionaires lose. Anyhow, Bernie's surging to the top of the polls now in Iowa. Bill, what does this mean for the rest of the crew there?
I mean, talk about the other killer bee is Biden, right? Biden is fourth in that poll.
That's right.
Bernie's at the top, followed by Elizabeth Warren and Buttigieg, another bee. Listen, I think this is trouble for Biden, but certainly if you're Bernie, you're not really in the driver's seat yet. You're not blowing anybody out of the water here. This is a very reliable poll in Iowa, but we know that anything can happen out there. We know what this plays in terms of rolling into New Hampshire, rolling into these other primaries and caucuses. But certainly, if you're Bernie, you got to like the numbers that you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa is hand-to-hand combat of politics. You're going retail politics, you're going to diners, you're knocking on people's doors, you're organizing, and at the end of the day, you got to bring people to a caucus. It's not a primary. You got to bring people to a gym on one night for 2 hours. And so Bernie's been able to manage to raise excitement with his message. And the thing is, it's a simple message, both on policy, but then just on who the guy is, right? I mean, he is the same guy he's been since the 60s. He has a message, a track record. He's honest. He was a socialist in the middle of the Cold War when everyone was laughing at him. He was against war.
We agree.
We're all in agreement on that.
Right? But he stands for what he believes in.
Apparently, Michael Bloomberg has been endorsed by none other than Max Rose, the flip-flop and lying congressman from Staten Island who said he was against impeachment, then voted for it. If you ask me, Billy, an endorsement of Bloomberg means Max Rose knows he needs some cash for his next, and there's a little quid pro quo there.
Well, listen, Max Rose, I think, going out on impeachment there in a district that voted almost 60% for the president, he's got to throw his lot in. And I think Bloomberg's a guy that, with that infrastructure here in New York, probably benefits him in the long term. But I don't think Staten Islanders will forget the double-digit property tax increase.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think they'll forget that.
They're not going to forget that he said he was against impeachment, and then he voted for it. They're like a lot of guys in that.
Well, I went to Max Rose's last fundraiser before the election, and he was electric. He was really on point that night, and I donated to him. And but he's not the type of Democrat.
How much did you give?
It was a young professionals thing, so they kept it down. The price, probably something like that.
$50.
Yeah, probably something like that. But
I gotta ask the tough, hard-hitting questions.
No, but that's the truth.
Was it in a wine cave?
On a final note, guys.
It actually kind of was.
Okay,
City Winery.
Short answer. Other breaking news: James Carville, Democratic strategist, came out and endorsed Bennett for president. Does this mean anything for Bennett?
Definitely not.
No. Billy?
Nothing.
We had an agreement early, we had an agreement late, and we covered all the killer bees for you. We're going to keep killing it after this when we go to the Weinstein story and the whole trial that's underway here in New York, and we bring in the #1 killer defense attorney you'd ever want to have, Matthew Mary, right after this.